these 10 things. Hey, Scott here, Scotty's Animals, and here's 10 items that you should always have at home in your care emergency kit. I'm Scott, I'm a volunteer at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue, and people come in and of course in their mind when they're adopting, they think, okay, well, I'm gonna get a guinea pig. Sometimes they're surprised to find out that we don't adopt them alone, but they're thinking, okay, guinea pig, we're guinea pigs, and then a cage, and then I'm gonna need some food. But there's a whole lot of other things besides just the basics that you really want to have on hand to make your life and your piggy's life better. But it's more than just better. There's just some things you really need. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 10 things that you might not necessarily think you need, but you definitely need if you have guinea pigs. So if you haven't got guinea pigs yet, or you're just new to guinea pigs, then these are 10 items you're going to want to get. Now, on my website, Scotty's Animals, I have a free guinea pig care guide, and Skinny Pigs One, the YouTube channel, they gave me permission to put their video about how to build an emergency kit. So on my website, you'll see a link to that video and you can just play it right there on the page. Just like clockwork, Mr. Nate. Hi, Nate. So this is Nate here, and he's gonna help me out. Okay, you comfortable, Nate? Okay, so let's get into the list of 10 things that you need to have at home. Now, these are basically general care items, but some of them in an emergency are gonna really save the day, and it's not something that you want to be scrambling to find if your piggies are sick or when you really need them. So let's get into the list. The first item is critical care. Now, it's kind of self-explanatory, but let's just talk about it for a second. Critical care is an emergency food that you can give your piggies if they're showing signs of illness, or they're not eating, or for whatever reason they're not eating on their own. Guinea pigs, they have an extremely high metabolism and they need to basically be constantly eating. Otherwise, they can go into something called GI stasis and their gut stops moving and it's just no good. They can just quickly go downhill from there if they stop eating. So the critical care emergency food. Oh, you want to go home? All right, crybaby. Okay, so critical care. Critical care, very important to always have, just in case. You never know if you need it. Now, of course, you can make critical care just by mashing up some pellets and mixing it with, banana or some baby food or something like that. There's plenty of ways to make an emergency critical care, but this critical care actually has proven and tested ingredients here, guaranteed analysis. So it's designed to give them all the stuff that they would lose if they weren't eating it all, and it's a lot better nutritionally than just simply ground up pellets. So if we're talking about critical care, you're also going to need number 2, which is syringes. Now, these are 1 milliliter or 1 cc syringes, and if you were going to feed critical care, you would cut the tip off, which makes it easier to suck up and squirt out. Now, some people like a 3 milliliter syringe. There's other sizes, but I find that in general, the 1 milliliter is the one you'll use the most, although I definitely recommend having multiple sizes just in case. So these syringes are very important. Now, all of these links I'll put in the description to these items, but you can also find these items and even more in my guinea pig care guide about these items and other items that I think are important. So as you go through the guinea pig care guide, we'll be talking about a lot of these items, and there'll even be links to them. So I encourage you to check out the guinea pig care guide for a complete list of more than 10 items that you're going to need, and then videos about why. So along with syringes, I like to keep vitamin C. It's really great to have vitamin C if you have any guinea pigs that are showing signs of illness, or they're recovering from a surgery, or you want to boost their immune system. There's a ton of reasons why you could give your guinea pigs vitamin C. Also, it helps teach them that the syringes aren't to be feared, and it's a great way to interact with your piggies. And just like people, guinea pigs, any excess vitamins, they'll just pee it out. So it's totally fine. And you would be surprised the change in some of these raggedy piggies that come into the rescue after just having some consistent vitamin C and consistent proper nutrition. So number 4 is CBD. This is a CBD cream. We have a link to this at the LA Guinea Pig Rescue. I'll try to find the link for that. And this is just a CBD cream. It's for pets, and you would just put a pump squirt or 2 on your guinea pig's ear, and they will absorb it into the bloodstream. And CBD has shown to be great for anxiety and pain relief, and just an overall calming effect when guinea pigs are in pain, or if they're going through a stressful treatment or something like that, or they just come to the rescue as a total mess. A lot of times Saskia will administer CBD, and it's a miracle. Also, I have seen guinea pigs that had arthritis. We put a little bit on their legs or behind their ears, and it seems to reduce their pain and allow them to walk normally, where before they might hop and limp. So it's also known to have anti-inflammatory properties. So do your research about CBD. Just like the vitamin C, it's another trick that you can have up your sleeve. So the next thing, number 5, is gas drops. Now, guinea pigs can be prone to bloat. So sometimes they, for whatever reason, they stop eating, and you'll notice that their tummies are all puffed up. Sometimes certain vegetables disagree with them, or sometimes there's a stomach bug. So gas drops these are for babies, but it basically neutralizes the gas in their bellies. Now, bloat can be fatal and can be a very dangerous illness and situation for your piggies. So you would want to take them to the vet as soon as possible, but these gas drops just might save their life and buy them enough time to get you to the vet. The vets have even more sophisticated ways of reducing the gas that is present and helping to get whatever is wrong with their digestion back on track. So if you see signs of bloat, you definitely need to reach out to a vet, and I would, even after hours, go to an emergency clinic, because they might just save your piggy's life. Let's talk about something else for the digestion. This is Bene-Bac. A lot of times when piggies are on antibiotics, it can destroy their gut bacteria. And this is a probiotic paste that has bacteria, and just anecdotally, I have seen it work wonders as far as guinea pigs with soft, squishy, funky poops, and giving this during a course of antibiotics, or anytime you see soft poops, seems to get the digestion back on track in a matter of days, or keep it on track in the case of antibiotics. Now, if your piggies are experiencing diarrhea, that would be definitely a reason to go to the vet. But I have heard that people have said activated charcoal works well for soft and squishy and diarrhea poops. But again, I would go to the vet, and I don't have too much experience with the charcoal, so do a little bit more research, search, guinea pig activated charcoal, diarrhea, that kind of thing, and see what you can find. But in my experience with squishy poops, funky poops, or trying to prevent that or keep their gut in check, the Bene-Bac is crucial. And if your piggies, for whatever, any change in behavior is something to be keenly aware of. If you see your piggies not acting like themselves, you really need to take it seriously, and you might have to go to the vet that day or the next day. It just kind of depends on what other symptoms they're showing. But if your piggies just seems to be acting weird, maybe they're not eating much, I would always give them a squirt of Bene-Bac or 2, and if they don't seem to get their appetite back by the next day, or within a few hours, then you might have to go to the vet. But again, this is just overall great for their digestive health, and I've had really good experience with it. So let's talk about the 7th thing that you should always have in your guinea pig kit, and that is styptic powder. Now this is mostly used for nail clipping. It's a blood clotting agent, and if you clip the nails too short, then it will stop the bleeding. And I include this because you should be clipping the nails every 8 weeks, and it's not something that you should be worried or squeamish about. But if you had to choose between doing it and clipping a nail too closely or just letting their nails grow, then you really should try to clip their nails. You're not going to hurt them. You just have to be careful, you know, look very carefully. I've got a number of videos about nail clipping, but it's not something that you should postpone or neglect because you're afraid of it. You know, you're in charge of caring for your babies. So I like to always recommend this thing will last forever. So you buy it once and you've got it, and then when you need to do the nail clips, you're ready to go. And most of the time, if you keep clipping nails regularly, you might not even ever use this because you're so good at clipping nails. But if there was ever a really bad wound from a fight or something, you could also use this to stop any bleeding that there might be. But in general, I would use something else. So that actually leads me to the next number 8, which is Bactine. So in the case of a bite wound or something like that, and this is great for people too, you spray this. It's an antiseptic spray, and it will clean a wound. So you need to make sure that the wound, any bite, anything like that, is clean before you put any ointment on it. So now let's actually talk about number 9. So this is Terramycin ointment. This is an antibiotic eye ointment. So if there was an eye scratch or a hay poke or something like that, this is specifically designed for the eye. Does it say? Maybe it doesn't say that it's specifically designed for the eye, but that's what we use it for specifically, is the eye, because any other wound and you'd want to use, and so this is number 10, is just a antibiotic Neosporin ointment. This is a triple antibiotic, but any Neosporin ointment, antibiotic ointment, is going to be just fine. And this is what you're going to want to put in a cut, a bite, something like that. But remember, guinea pigs have that Wolverine X-Men superpower of super fast healing. So even though it's important to clean a wound and put some kind of ointment to protect it from infection, guinea pigs, it is remarkable how what seems like a really bad bite heals extremely quickly. But having said that, you should always, if you know that your piggies have gotten in a fight and that one of them has a wound that is healing, you want to check on it and keep it clean, because sometimes it can heal over, but there can be an infection underneath, and then it can develop into some kind of an abscess, and that's gross, and it's also a lot harder to clean. In general, it's best to avoid a wound becoming an abscess, and you can do that by making sure that it's clean, and if you see any funky stuff, you can actually squeeze out any of that funk. Okay, BB, we're almost done. Everybody's getting upset. It's lettuce time. So these are the 10 guinea pig care items that you should always have at home, and I'll put a link to all of those in the description, and you can see them all laid out here at the end. But definitely make sure that you have all these items. And if you do click the link in the description to these items, then it does benefit Scotty's animals. So thank you very much for considering to do that. Did I miss anything? Probably, possibly. Like I said, there's so many things that you want to have on hand. But what items would you have considered as part of your top 10 must-have guinea pig care things? Right? And what do you have in your emergency kit? I can think of things like Q-tips and gauze and vet wraps. There's so many items, but these were my top 10. So what do you think's number 11 and number 12? I'd love to hear it. Let's keep talking in the comments, because by the way, the comments and the people who are answering the questions that are posed in the comments, thank you so much. We're building a community of people that are learning and caring about their piggies, and I appreciate all of you guys helping out, and we all have the same goal, which is to improve the lives of these piggies and the people that care for them. So thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, talk to you guys in the comments.
As I mentioned, there's a link to all these items in the description, and I put a link to my Amazon storefront, which has all of the items in one spot and more items than just these 10. And clicking on those links really does help Scotty's Animals. So thank you so much for all your love and support.